Hey everybody, this is Kevin. I am recording a Pokemon battle. We had a tournament earlier today, and unfortunately, my recorder gave out, and I only got the first two matches. It was a best of three. This is the first time I've actually played Pokemon Scarlet and Violet against other people. This really prompted me to get back into it, so I'm really excited. My opponent led off with Glamora. I haven't really played much, so I know Glamora likes to set up hazards. I didn't exactly know what to expect though. So I thought I would try to go into Palafin so that I can just get the switch in, because I knew it wasn't going to be offensive. And I don't have a Defogger or a Rapid Spinner, so I figured get in the Palafin, do the flip turn, and then get out. However, this proved to be my downfall, as first, he's just playing defensively so he can get his stuff set up. So I didn't get the flip turn off, and anytime you hit Glamora, it puts Toxic Spikes on the field. So this turns out very poorly for me. This was part of our group that we do all the Smash Brothers tournament with. I think there were only 7 or 8 of us in this. I really wish that I had the recordings for all of the other battles. It was a great set. Unfortunately, it ran really late into the night, so we just called it before we could do the final. And just the one guy that was undefeated, we just crowned him as the winner of everything. There was a loser's bracket, and spoiler alert, I got sent to it. But we all had a lot of fun. We had some great battles. Unfortunately, I wish that my capture card or my software kept capturing. Anyways, I didn't know how to deal with this Glamora. So I brought in Baxcalibur, trying to just see if I could one-shot him. And a single Earthquake, took him down after the flip turn. But now I have 2 layers of spikes, Toxic Spikes on the field. Things are not looking good for me. One of the things that marked this tournament was there were a lot of hazards set up, and there were a lot of... there was one match where there was a lot of sleep. Unfortunately, there was no sleep clause, so I actually won that round by stalling out the clock on purpose. Not my proudest moment, but when 4 of your Pokemon are asleep, you kinda have to do what you need to do to win. So this team consists of, as you can see, there's a Baxcalibur. He's my physical attacker. He has Dragon Dance to try to get a sweep. I have Grimmsnarl. He's my screen setter, Fake Out, and he has Parting Shot. Skeledirge is my physically defensive. I'm running a physically defensive one. Torch Song, I use that to get my special attack up so that hopefully I can get a sweep. The idea is I have a lot of switches and a lot of setups, which does kind of make my team a little stally. This Garganacl, I didn't know how to deal with. So you'll see that I actually forfeit this first one because I didn't want to reveal my entire team or set to my opponent. Yeah, I'm doing everything I can to try to get anything on... He's going for Iron Defenses, so I figured I could just try to out damage him if I were to get enough Dragon Dances. Around this time is where I decide I should probably give up, so I think I give up in a moment or two. Another Pokemon on my team, I have Bombardier. I brought that against my better judgment because, yeah, you see I was hovering the run because I was just thinking about it. The Bombardier, stat-wise, it's not that great, but I just like it as a Pokemon because it's a Stork, and it's Dark type, which means it's bad. Storks usually bring babies, but this is a jerk bird that drops rocks on people's heads, so I don't know. I don't know why I like that. So I wanted Bombardier. And lastly, I have a especially defensive Magnezone. Magnezone actually saved my bacon in a few of the other matches that unfortunately didn't get recorded. I have the specially defensive Bombardier. The specially defensive Magnezone because I was afraid of Goldingo. I haven't really been following the meta very much, but in the very beginning of Scarlet and Violet, Mousehold and Goldingo were kind of terrorizing people from what I was reading. So I wanted something to answer those two. Skeledirge is my Mousehold answer, and the Magnezone is my Goldingo answer. As you can see, I'm trying to do anything I can to get this Garganacl done with, but I let him set up with his entry hazards, and he's got his iron defenses off. There's nothing I can do against this thing, so I think this is about the time where I forfeit. Because I didn't want him to see all of my movesets. I didn't want him to know what to expect. Yeah, unfortunately the entry hazards just kind of wreck me. Alright, yeah, he has the Purifying Salt. I can't give him a status effect. Still getting used to what a lot of the items and abilities do. There was one match, I won it, but unfortunately I tried to use Parting Shot twice against a Lucario that was running the item that prevents your stat decreases. I forget what it's called. But here I'm just trying to figure out if there's anything I can do to take down this Garganacl. This is a specially defensive Skeledirge. It is, or sorry, no, physically defensive. It's full HP, full defense. I have Will-O-Wisp to make physical attackers, to cut their attack in half. He's also unaware, so that setup users don't really affect him that much. And lastly, he has Hex to take advantage of the Will-O-Wisp, and Slack Off to just get life back. He does have Leftovers. I am wondering if Leftovers might be overkill with Slack Off. I do think that there are probably better items to use. One of the matches I played, I kind of wished that I had safety goggles on him because it was a sleep spammer. I think I mentioned that earlier. Here I am just trying to stall this thing out. Just anything I can do to take this guy out. He keeps using the Salt Cure, which is super effective. I can't get Will-O-Wisp on this thing, so I can't get that, you know, double powered Hex. I hope my microphone's not picking up the game audio. Usually I use headphones for these, but it's been a long time since I've done this. Yeah, here I am trying to do anything to just get I was hoping that by getting some special attack boost, maybe I could chip away at this guy. But I am badly poisoned. I thought that I could. I thought I was only the first level poison, but I thought that I could survive this, and then the poison takes me out right now, I believe. And there goes the Skeledirge. Skeledirge was pretty much my only way to possibly take down this thing. With all his entry hazards and everything else, things were not looking good for me. Right here, I'm just looking to see if there's anything I can possibly do. Once I get that 30-second timer, I figure let's just go into Magnezone, see what he can do. Skeledirge was my only option against this thing. Figured I'd go for a Volt Switch, see if I could do anything, maybe get, maybe fake him out to see if he could, maybe I could get him to slip up. But there's nothing I can do. Bringing back Excalibur because he's my hardest hitting Pokemon. And then he reveals he has Recover. Yeah, and this is where I decided to just give up. Like, after the Recover and all of the Iron Defenses, there was nothing I could do. I didn't want to reveal the rest of my movesets to him. So we go into round 2. I wanted to change my... This was a best of 3, so I wanted to change my strategy a little bit. This tournament, it was a small one among friends, so the rules were... We just figured we would go with Series 1 rules. We did allow changes to your team between matches. So I did end up changing my Bombardier to use Rock Blast because there was a Spidops on another team, and that one-shot it with he had a Focus Sash, so I needed to go Rock Blast because unfortunately Rock Slide just did not one-shot him given that he had the Focus Sash. So that's how I dealt with the setup in another match. Sadly, none of those were recorded. He does have Tandemaus. Tandemaus, as I said, was one of the ones that I was really afraid of. But Skeledirge is my answer to that. Also, Magnezone, later in the tournament, I actually put Rocky Helmet on him because I found that most people were using physical attackers. So I did put the Rocky Helmet on Magnezone, and I put Thunder Wave on him. I decided to leave with Baxcalibur because I figured he would lead with the Glamora, and I needed something that could one-shot him before he could set up. I didn't want all of that setup from last time. So he does lead with Glamora, just like I thought. And I figured a single Earthquake should take him out. And there were a lot of pauses in this because my kid was He wanted my attention. He was making some arts and crafts. He wanted to show me what he was making. So he starts with the stealth rocks. Because I missed the icicle crash, so I could have totally avoided that had I hit. Icicle crash just ruined me. So he's doing the spiky shield, and here I am trying to... from the first time, I knew that he was going to alternate between hazard, spiky shield, so I knew I had to capitalize on that. So I did Dragon Dance. Next, I do my icicle crash. I think... I don't know why I didn't go for Earthquake, because that would have one-shot him. And then he gets the poison off with his Mortal Spin. One thing that I desperately need on this team is some kind of Rapid Spinner or Defogger. But I know he's going to Spiky Shield again. I need to Dragon Dance. Because I just need to turn Baxcalibur into a beast. He has some... he does have Stealth Rocks out, so... I know I'm on a timer. I have to get as much done with Baxcalibur as humanly possible. So then I go for Earthquake because apparently I can't learn my lesson the first time. He tries to go for the double spiky shield and it fails. There were so many matches I would have... There were so many, like... Even though, like, I won... my sets except for one. There were so many single matches out of the best of threes that I would have just won 2-0 had I not missed so frequently. But Pokemon is it is kind of a game of RNG, so you can't really complain. Alright, so here comes Mousehold. I have 2 Dragon Dances, I believe. So I'm pretty confident I can just one-shot Mousehold. I did not want to take a chance with Icicle Crash. I wanted that stab Glaive Rush, so I went for it and I one-shot him. My biggest fear was that he was going to be Focus Sash and then Population Bomb me and just get rid of my Baxcalibur, but that did not happen. So I take out Mousehold. That was a huge sigh of relief on my part. Alright, Gorganical comes out. I know he's going to... Last time he... Terra... Yeah, he did the Terra into Ghost type, so I didn't go for Earthquake, even though it's super effective against Rock. I figured I did Glaive Rush previously. Anything he hits me with is going to be double damage, because that's one of the side effects of Glaive Rush. So just go for Glaive Rush one more time. Hopefully with my boosts I can one-shot him, but he is fully physically defensive. So I am faster than him. I know that with all of my attack boosts I can take him out. I'm also still on a timer because I have that poison. I'm just trying to figure out what do I take him out with. Because he might try to change. I was hovering ice. But I decided, you know what, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Go for the Glaive Rush. And I do knock him out, even after his Iron Defense. Alright, so I'm down to 40 HP. I know I got probably 2 more attacks in me. At best. Here comes Slowbro. I figure guns out for Harambe. Glaive Rush one more time. And we one-hit the Slowbro. So I've taken out pretty sizable amount of his team right now. My Baxcalibur is on his last leg, absolute last leg. But I do have enough of a lead that I can probably just let it, if Baxcalibur goes down due to priority, I expected him to use a priority move to just try to knock me out, but so I go for Earthquake because I figured he would knock me out or do a switch in to something that maybe could have taken that hit, and then the poison takes down Baxcalibur. So now I have my full team. He does have some entry hazards, but I want to see my Jerkbird in action. So I bring out the Jerkbird. And it's Skeledirge is his last Pokemon. Alright, so I figure this is a Steel Terra type because there were a few times where I baited out Fairy type attacks. I go for the Rock Slide because it's super effective. And I figured that would do the absolute most damage. I am faster than him, so I figure Rock Slide again. He forfeits. Because he just figured 5v1, like eventually I was just going to get him. Anyways, that wraps that up. Unfortunately, the recording stopped after this. Anyways, thanks for watching. We had some great battles. Hopefully I can get back into this, and next time I will just not use my software that failed me, and hopefully I can get the full sets. Anyways, thanks again. Stay out of trouble, everybody.